The Caped Crusader has come and gone, villains have been vanquished and webs rewound. Gotham City has returned to normal as it gets in Glasgow, the latest backdrop for the fictional home and daring do of the superhero. Whether any of the city will be recognisable, indeed, whether the scenes filmed in and around the Necropolis and Glasgow Cathedral will make the final cut of the Batman, we'll have to wait to discover when the film premieres next year. Rumours abound that the cathedral will be blown up, hopefully just a polystyrene version on a lot somewhere, or in CGI. And that the central character, played by Robert Pattinson, will be seen scooting through the ancient graveyard on his Batbike, dodging bullets, before shinning up the 60-feet sandstone column high on the hill and confronting John Knox. Or perhaps this is just wishful thinking. The necropolis may not have the scale, the hauteur and mythology of the Père Lachaise in Paris, on which it was loosely modelled, or the famous inhabitants like Jim Morrison and Oscar Wilde, but for atmosphere and dank creepiness it can't be bettered. On a dark, howling night, the moon shrouded in the rain battering in, its 37 acres are the perfect place for a horror fan with nerves of titanium, avoiding the vampires and the boys with bottles of Bucky. Back in the day, qualification for entry, apart from the obvious one, was simply that you were wealthy. The land was owned by the Merchants' House of Glasgow, wealthy businessmen who had made their money in tobacco, weaving, commerce, and the buying and selling of slaves. Glasgow was then the second city of the empire, and the merchant barons wanted to bequeath to the city, in their names, a cemetery to rival the Parisian one. They even went further afield for their inspirations, or copying, to the Ponte dei Sospiri, the Bridge of Sighs, in Venice, which is also the colloquial name given to the Glasgow one linking Cathedral Square, and crossing what was then the Molendiana Burn, to the City of the Dead. Thousands of funerals have crossed this bridge, passing from time into eternity. John Knox, the father of Presbyterianism and the Scottish Reformation, perched on his eyrie on what was then the Fir Hill, predates the creation of the cemetery. He's not actually buried there, but, prosaically, beneath a car park in Edinburgh. But over the centuries he has looked down on the city, Bible in hand, as the dead mounted around him, until the 50,000 plots were filled. At the Père Lachaise they're rather more practical. Plots are leased for 30 years, and if the family doesn't renew the lease then the grave is dug up and another body deposited. 1 million people have been buried there, but another 3 million more may have had a spell there. Knox had his own French connection. He and a garrison of Protestant religious dissenters in Saint. For more on this story, visit the news article link.